Hello, my name's Rachel and I work for Step 2 Young People's Health. This video is part of the How to Talk to Your Child About series. This one specifically is about grooming. Some things to remember. Conversations with your child can be difficult. They're your child. They want to have some conversations with you, but some conversations they'd rather have outside of the home. However, it is really important that you help your child to understand what grooming is. They will learn about this in school as part of the relationships and sex education curriculum, but it's also important that they can have the conversations with you so that if they feel they're in danger, they can come to you for support. You'll know when it's age appropriate to discuss certain topics with your child. You will know developmentally where they are and how advanced they are, and to be able to decide when is the right time to have those conversations. And all children are different. Even if you've got two, you'll probably know yourself, can be extremely different. So while some parents might be having conversations with their child about this at age 11, others might not be ready to do that until age 13. Please don't compare yourself to other families. That never helps anybody. Okay, so grooming. This happens when somebody befriends and builds an emotional connection with a child, possibly also their family, and they have negative intentions for doing that. So they might build a relationship with them in the hope of exploiting them. Now, this can be done face to face, it can be done online, it can be done through text messaging. Any way that an adult with a power imbalance can speak to a child, that's a method of grooming, and it is all about power imbalance. The two people in the relationship here are not equal. There's generally two types of exploitation that come from grooming for children. So you've got CCE and CSE. So the C stands for child. So you've got child criminal exploitation and child sexual exploitation. If we look at criminal exploitation first, you might have heard of it as county lines. So it could be that they're getting your young person to sell drugs for them or to move drugs to the other part of the country. It could be they're looking after illegal weapons. If somebody's recently been shot, we've got a video on gangs as well. It could be that if they're part of, or they think they're part of a gang, that they're being asked to look after weapons that have been used to kill somebody. A lot of the time young people are used to break into properties. They're smaller. You can get them through a smaller gap in an open window and get them to come round and open the front door so that you can get in and you can burgle the property. And it could be committing any other criminal act that in some way benefits the exploiter. The young person might be given some kind of reward for it, but it's going to be very, very small in comparison to what the person in charge has actually gained from that. CSE, you might be familiar with stories in the news about grooming gangs. There's just been a really huge one in the West Midlands where I think it was 40 odd people were arrested as part of that. There was a big one in Rochdale, there've been them in Keighley, Telford, all over the country. And this is where people exploit a young person, they build a relationship with them, they think they're in a sort of boyfriend-girlfriend type relationship with them. It's not just girls that are abused though, and it's not just men that abuse. It can be anywhere. It could be a woman abusing a young boy, it could be anywhere around. But they'll have a sexual relation with that exploiter. They'll give them gifts. The older person will sort of pretend they're looking after them and keeping them safe, and then they will force them into sexual activities with other people, and they'll basically sell them as part of the sex trade. You will do sexual acts with this person, they owe me money, I owe them money, this is how we're going to fix the situation basically. They might be forced to do sex acts on film, the film's then being sold. So an example of that at the minute, it's not child sexual exploitation, but it is sexual exploitation. There's an allegation that Andrew Tate and his brother and some others made some women do sex acts on film so that they could then proceed to sell the film and make money from it. So it could be those kind of things, but involving children. And again, committing any other sexual act that benefits the exploiter. When we're talking about how they draw young people in, there's always push factors and pull factors. So a push factor will push a young person into doing something. A pull factor is the thing that draws them into doing it. And it's usually a combination of the two. There is no kind of definitive tick list of yes, it's this, this, this and this. Every sort of situation is different. The push factors, they include things like domestic abuse at home, if they're witnessing a lot of that and want to be away from it. If they're being neglected at home, they're looking for support and love somewhere else. Parents, potentially substance use, that makes it difficult for them to be at home. Homelessness, bereavement and loss. Now that could be the loss of a parent or somebody extremely close to them and they need to go looking for that love and affection elsewhere. The young person themselves might have mental health concerns and they're feeling particularly isolated, and somebody can kind of hook them in, or they can kind of go looking for that support. And parental separation. The pull factors, these are things that the exploiter will do. So they'll invite the young person to parties, they'll make them feel important and make them feel special. And you know, if they're feeling isolated at home, or they're feeling like they're not getting that love and attention, the fact that an older person is giving it to them is going to make them feel really good. It's going to give them a lot of sort of self-esteem boosts. They might be given clothes, money or phones. That's definitely something to watch out for. It might be their first relationship, or it could be a new relationship and they're thinking, oh God, yeah, this is really exciting. They might be paid loads of compliments. You know, you look amazing, you look beautiful, you're really sexy. You know, come to this party with me tonight, you're going to look stunning. Everybody's going to be really jealous of how amazing you are. Okay, so these are the stages that it tends to take. You've got your targeting stage at first. We're picking the young person that we want to target. It could be that they're literally out looking for a young person. It could be that the other young people that they've targeted are helping with this stage, drawing people in. And some of that will be due to fear, and some of that will be due to them being further down the line and thinking that this person loves them. So they'll start befriending, they'll start being nice, taking an interest in them, some compliments and things. Then it moves into friendship forming, and they start to make the young people feel special. They'll give them gifts, they'll give them rewards. It might be things that they couldn't afford to buy on their own, designer trainers, designer clothing, new devices. It could be something as simple as alcohol, cigarettes, food. We know they're quite common gifts. There could be an element of secret keeping and, you know, making this person feel important. That then moves on to the loving relationship stage. By this point, the young person is properly hooked in. So they might start calling each other boyfriend, girlfriend. They might establish a sexual relationship between them. Inhibitions will be lowered. You know, the young person will think, I'm safe with this person. They are my boyfriend, girlfriend. Everything's okay. We love each other. They're not going to do anything to hurt me. But actually, this is where the other person will start encouraging them to do things they shouldn't do. So to go to parties and to take lots of drugs. They might be showing them pornography. It starts being inconsistent though, not to the extent of it being the abusive stage, but it starts to sort of, well, they're blowing a bit hot and cold with me. So into the abusive stage, it's worth mentioning that there is no timeline on this. This could take place fairly quickly, it could take place over a long period of time. So the abusive stage, it becomes an unloving sexual relationship, so there starts to be some abuse. They withdraw the love and the friendship. They're not as nicey nice, they're not paying as many compliments. They say things like, well, you need to stay with me anyway, nobody else is going to have you, you're damaged, you know, you're not a good person, you've had sex with too many people now, so nobody else will want you. They might start with the sort of emotional blackmail of, you owe me. I bought you all this stuff, so you owe me, so you are going to do this. And they might be assaulted sexually by them, or this could be the stage where they're saying, you know, you now have to go and have sex with my friend. You know, I owe this man money, I don't have the money to give him, so you're going to go and have sex with him to pay the debt off. Or it could be, you know, I know this person, he's my mate, I need you to do me a favour, I need you to go and do whatever sexual activity to him. They're taking them to the parties, getting them drunk, getting them drugged, could again be a sign that they're going to be raped, sexually assaulted in any other way. So this sort of abusive relationship stage is all the worst things that could possibly happen. They're happening there. So also in the abusive relationship stage, there will be lots of statements that will keep the young person there. It's not as simple as saying, well, why don't they just leave? They've built up the trust, they've built up the love, they still think this person loves them, and this is, you know, if this is their first relationship, they're probably going to start thinking this is normal, this is what relationships look like. But the abuser will also be saying things like, if you don't do this, I'm going to make your younger brother or sister do it. If you don't do this, I know where your family are, I'm coming for your parents. If you don't do it, I'm going to put your windows through, I'm going to set your house on fire. If you don't do it, remember those pictures I took of you, I'm going to show them to every single person that you know. Okay, and that will keep the young person there through sheer fear. They will not, regardless of the relationship that you have with them and whether they're feeling isolated or neglected or not, they will still not want to hurt their parent or their siblings. So there will still be an element of, I need to protect everybody else, so I've just got to keep going now. So this is from West Yorkshire Police's Child Sexual Exploitation Know the Signs, but it's also significant for the child criminal exploitation as well. So these are the kinds of things that you should be watching out for. Suddenly being secretive beyond the normal teenage stuff. Missing school where they've never done that before. Going missing from home, not coming home on a night. They've got new adult friends, probably drive. New clothes and devices, that's a big one to look out for. If somebody's giving your child a £400 phone, you've got to ask yourself why. What are they expecting back from that? Changes in behaviour, they might suddenly become quite angry and aggressive. They might be appearing under the influence. Obviously, if they're being bribed with alcohol and drugs, they might be coming home appearing that they have taken those substances. So talking to your child about it, shock tactics will not work. It will not work if you say to them, if you do this, this is going to happen, because their brains aren't developed enough to get that. So it's about encouraging them to talk to you about any issues they might be having. You know, are they lonely? Do they want to find a boyfriend or girlfriend? Do they know what a healthy relationship is? Is there anybody that's causing them a bit of concern? Is anybody approached them that they don't know? Give them ideas of what to look out for. There was a BBC drama programme called Three Girls that was on a few years ago. If you can find a copy of that, that's amazing to sit and watch with your young person, to be able to open the conversations and discuss it. Just letting them know that you're there for them, that you're happy to talk to them about things, that they can come to you about things that they're scared about or worried about. It might be that actually they're not going through this, but they've started noticing some changes in a friend, and they might just need somebody to talk to about that. And both of you should talk about how this topic makes you feel. Does it make you feel disgusted that adults do this to children and that they exploit them and abuse them? Not all adults, unfortunately, have the best intentions when it comes to young people, but obviously you can sit and talk to your child about who's a safe person and who isn't. So just some useful services. The Mix is a fantastic website for young people under the age of 25. It's got pretty much information about everything you would ever possibly need to know. Young Minds mental health service, if your young person needs somebody to talk to that's not you. Step 2, James and Hale work together to deliver relationships and sex education across the Bradford district. Hale also have a youth work team who provide support for young people who might be at risk of being isolated. So you can refer into them. There's more information on their website. Step 2 is a sexual health and mental health charity. So if your child's over the age of 11 and would like some counselling support, you can refer them through on our website. Childline, pretty much everything that you're ever going to need to know.